don't skip. Have you ever felt that the harder you chase success, the further it slips away? That the more you strive for happiness, the more exhausted and empty you feel? In today's society, we're taught to be faster, better, and to have more, as if our worth lies in speed and achievement. But this constant rush makes us lose the most important thing: calm. We think non-stop action is the key to success. But it's not about running faster than everyone else. It's about having control over yourself. When your mind is chaotic, you react instead of thinking. When your heart is calm, the path becomes clear. The Stoics believed that calm isn't weakness or passivity, it's strength. It's the foundation that helps you make wise decisions in the storm. Stay true to your values under pressure and go far without being swept away by life. So, before we begin today's video, I invite you to leave this phrase in the comments. Calm is the foundation. Let this be your guiding principle for the journey ahead. Now let's begin. 1. Don't resist. Just go with the flow of life. Don't resist, just go with the flow of life. Life doesn't always go the way we want. There are days when everything falls apart, when carefully crafted plans are wrecked by forces beyond our control. In those moments, the natural reaction for many is to resist, to struggle, to get angry, or to demand that everything return to how it was. But Stoicism teaches us something entirely different. Don't resist, let life flow. Trying to force reality to bend to our will isn't just pointless, it's the root cause of deep stress. When we cling too tightly to expectations, every small deviation feels like a disaster. And the more we resist, the more our minds grow weary and confused, losing the clarity we need to find solutions. Calmness, on the other hand, creates a steady inner space, one where we can see things as they are, not just how we want them to be. Picture a student preparing for an important exam. He studies day and night, mapping out every hour, every minute. But right before the test, the power goes out. His computer crashes. Study materials become inaccessible. In that moment, panicking or getting angry does nothing. It only makes things worse. But if the student pauses, takes a deep breath, and accepts that this is beyond his control, he can start exploring other options, borrowing printed materials from friends, reviewing notes by hand, or simply reinforcing what he already knows. By letting go of resistance, he naturally finds a new path forward. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That quote isn't just a reminder, it's the core of composure. True strength doesn't lie in how much we control the outside world, but in how well we control ourselves, our reactions, our thinking, and our calm in the midst of chaos. And it's only when we stop resisting that we create real space for success. Because success doesn't come from forcing everything to go our way. It comes from adapting, from our ability to adjust, to change. Going with the flow isn't giving up. It's a smart choice to preserve energy for the things we can change. Life is a river. Swim against it and you'll wear yourself out. But when you observe the current, choose your direction, stay afloat, and move forward in your own way, that's when you go the furthest. Calmness isn't passivity. It's a quiet strength that leads us to success, not just in results, but in the way we live and grow through every twist and turn. 2. Calm your mind before taking action. Action. There are moments in life when everything seems to move too fast. A single criticism triggers your anger. An unexpected situation sparks anxiety. A challenge hits you and you react on autopilot. However, in the philosophy of Stoicism, what matters is not what happened, but how you respond to it. And the right response only comes when the mind has been calmed. Emotions, when left unchecked, are the enemy of reason. When we're angry, anxious, or panicked, our mind becomes clouded like stirred up water. We can't see what's beneath. That's when we're most prone to impulsive decisions, regretful words, or actions we wish we could take back. Calmness doesn't mean indifference. It means giving yourself enough inner space to see things clearly and objectively. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors and a profound Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This isn't just theory, it's a wake-up call. What triggers us isn't always the event itself, it's the unsettled state of our mind. When you're calm, you take back control of your perception. You can choose to see things through a clear, rational lens instead of being hijacked by knee-jerk emotions. To choose your response instead of being driven by reaction. Stoicism doesn't teach you to suppress emotions mechanically. It teaches you to recognize them, give them space to pass, and then act. A simple exercise. When you feel yourself about to snap, take 3 slow breaths and count from 1 to 10 in your head. In that silence, your wisdom has a chance to speak. And finally, remember, no one can fully control external events, but anyone can train themselves to control how they respond. And that more than talent or circumstances is what shapes lasting success. The ability to remain steady in the face of storms. Once you've learned to stay calm before acting, the next step on the Stoic path is learning to accept the natural flow of life. It sounds simple, but within it lies a deep kind of freedom that few ever truly grasp. We'll explore that next. 3. Accept the natural flow of life. Accept the natural flow of life. Life is like the waves in the ocean, sometimes calm, sometimes fierce, and constantly changing. We can't hold on to the waves, yet we keep trying. We want things to stay just the way they are, but we can't. When we observe nature, we learn that everything follows a perfect order. The problem is that because of our attachments and personal viewpoints, we don't always see it that way. Our vision is clouded, like looking through a dirty window. I believe that in general, we spend too much time worrying about yesterday and tomorrow. We spend countless hours on computers, TVs, and other forms of media that keep us distracted and pulled away from the present moment where real life is actually happening. Most of the time, we're just busy feeding our senses and chasing happiness from the outside. We seem to have forgotten what peace, contentment, and true happiness really mean and where they come from. In reality, everything we need for that already exists within us. All we need is the courage and willingness to start looking and listening inward. And one of the first things we'll hear, if we're still enough to truly listen, is a quiet reminder. Accept the natural flow of life. That sounds simple, but in truth it's one of the greatest inner challenges. Things won't always go the way we want. Plans fall apart. People change. Environments shift day by day. While we cling to how things should have been, life moves in a different direction. The more we resist, the more drained we become. Stoicism doesn't teach us to surrender to fate. It teaches us to deeply understand the nature of life. Everything changes, and not everything is within our control. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny for what could more aptly fit your needs. What could possibly suit you better?" This isn't just a comforting phrase, it's a powerful reminder. Sometimes the very disruptions we wish never happened carry the exact lessons we need in order to grow. Instead of reacting to change with fear, meet it with curiosity. Treat every event as a lesson, every failure as a chance to begin again. Picture a company about to launch a new product. Everything is in place. Then a last-minute technical issue causes a delay. The usual reaction might be panic, blame, or stress. But what if leadership chooses calm? What if they're transparent with customers and use the delay to improve the product? Not only is the outcome better, but trust grows deeper. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's an active choice to let go of what we can't control so we can focus on what we can, how we respond, how we receive, and how we move forward. Life doesn't owe us a perfect script. But if we're calm enough to walk with it, not fight it, not flee from it, we may realize this unpredictable flow is the greatest teacher of all, and it may be leading us exactly where we need to go. 4. Reduce expectations to increase. Reduce expectations to increase action. In my view, expecting more from others than from ourselves is a terrible idea. Yet, many people live this way. I believe this is a recipe for disappointment and unhappiness. In reality, people often hold higher expectations for others, far higher than what they expect of themselves. Sometimes you'll even see someone criticize others for behaviors they themselves exhibit. We're quick to demand perfection from others, yet we make excuses for our own laziness, procrastination, or shortcomings. This doesn't just damage relationships, it traps us in a constant cycle of dissatisfaction,